I'm Lalam Tejano with today's news. Residents of Gala district in central Tigray say Eritrean forces are still continuing committing atrocities in their soil and plea for immediate withdrawal. The residents underscored that aid has not reached them yet, as the Eritrean forces carry on obstructing any aid supply into the district. Our Hagarutan has more.
Dozens of reporters uncovered Igala district is among the most victimized districts in Tigray, where Eritrean forces committed heinous crimes, killing dozens of civilians and looting public and private properties. Residents of the district also assure that these forces are still occupying significant territories in Igala district, and they have continued to commit atrocious acts.
ናይ ሻዕብያ ሰራዊት ሕጂውን ግፍዒ ዝውስኽ ዘሎ ኣከባቢ ሆያ መደብ በለሳ
Eritrean forces are still committing crimes in Igala district. Areas like Hoya Medeb, Belasa, Adi Chagwar, Mardi, Kalelib, and Dekkalam are still under their occupation. The forces say Igala district is their Saudi Arabia, as they have taken every possession of the residents, including blankets, gold, mobile, and others over the past 2 years. They brag shamelessly on what they did to us.
ወዚ ግፍዓኛ ሰራዊት እዚ ካብ መሬት ገላ አይወፀን
This brutal force is still in Igala soil. Ba'akhal, Adi Chagwar, Dekkalum, Barah Gambar, and the whole Belasa are under the control of Eritrean forces. They are taking training with heavy and light weapons on daily basis. They are selling like they will never leave the area.
The residents also said that they are dying of hunger as aid entry to the district has been blocked by the Eritrean forces, and they don't have a passageway to any direction as they are encircled by these forces. They plead immediate intervention by the Ethiopian government to make the withdrawal of the Eritrean forces possible so that they would get aid and maintain their security.
If the government of Ethiopia doesn't intervene soon, we don't know where to go. We are encircled by the Eritrean forces and we don't have any way out from this area. Aid has not reached us yet, as the Eritrean forces have continued to obstruct it. We are dying of hunger.
The government of Ethiopia should help us save our lives and our environment. Eritrean forces are cutting down our trees and producing charcoal that would be loaded to Asmara. This is happening in the presence of ENDF. The ENDF should not remain silent on this, so the federal government of Ethiopia should give attention to this issue. Eritrean forces should leave our land. It's ours.
In our recent report on the mass memorial service, the residents revealed that Eritrean forces killed 75 civilians indiscriminately in October 26 of 22 in the district of Igala, where mass graves are evident in many areas.
እዚ መቃብር እዚ ምናልባት ቁርብ ኣዋርሕ ስለ ዝወሰደ እምበር ብጣዕሚ ብርክት ዝበሉ ዕሻላት
Dozens of civilians were buried here. Children, elderly, women, religious leaders, and youth are inside these graves. You see this shoe? It belongs to one of the deceased children.
Patients at either comprehensive specialized hospital say that they are yet to receive proper treatment and that lack of medication still remains a problem at the hospital. A medical professional at the hospital says not so much has changed and that the suffering of patients continues. Saran Zagai has the details.
The peace deal signed months ago has brought many hopes in the hearts of Tigrayans. Many were hopeful that blocked goods and basic necessities will start flowing into Tigray. But patients in either hospital say that that's not the case so far. Wazam Haile is a 2 years and 6 months old child from the town of Inticho in central Tigray. We met Wazam and her mother while waiting to get treatment at either hospital. Her mother traveled miles to get Wazam to the hospital for better treatment, but she tells us that they still haven't received any kind of treatment for her daughter. She's 2 years and 6 months old. She was born during the corona outbreak. Then the conflict followed. She was referred 3 times to a hospital in Abi Adi. They used to give her milk, but the doctor told us to take her to either referral hospital because her body was rejecting the food. After we got here, not so much has changed as she is yet to receive the proper treatment. She still got diarrhea and vomiting. She's still in pain. We met another mother from Tembin in central Tigray who was struggling to feed her infant. She says she hasn't gotten any kind of treatment since birth as she gave birth at home. She tells us that she came here with the hope that she will get treatment for her problem, but she says she was told that there is no medication and to use salt and hot water instead. I gave birth at home. When I started to struggle to breastfeed her using my left breast, I started breastfeeding her using my right one. But she is weak, and when she cries, she's unable to breastfeed. But I've been getting hope since I came here. As for my own problem, I was told to use salt and water as there is no medicine. Patients and the medics at either hospital say that they're still hopeful that the peace deal signed months ago is going to bring an end to their suffering. Takhlab Gabramariam, a medical professional at the hospital, tells us that not so much has changed and that the suffering of patients continues despite the peace deal signed 3 months ago.
Nothing has changed even after the signing of the peace deal. Everything is as it used to be. We were hopeful that everything will start getting in, but that's not the case. There is no medicine. There is no supplementary food for the malnourished children. We're still waiting to get these items.
Takhlab and the patients say the signing parties need to implement the deal to its fullest and save lives. Children are getting sick and we need medicine, but we are being told that we can't find the medications here, so we need medication as soon as possible.
For a permanent peace, basic items such as food and medicine need to get into Tigray. We need to access basic necessities, just like the rest of Ethiopians.
Psychiatric patients in either hospital plea for the entry of medicines into Tigray. The outpatients in Tigray's largest hospital ask what the peace deal is for if it doesn't facilitate the provisions of medicine in the region. For a report by Tariq Fassah, Abil Zgab reports.
3 months after the signing of the Pretoria Agreement, hospitals in Tigray remain without medicine. Medics and patients we spoke at Ida Comprehensive Special Hospital, the largest hospital in the region, say they are still unable to get their medication despite their hopes after the signing of the peace deal.
I came here to get medical service. My brother is a psychiatric patient, but they told me there is no medicine. I was very happy to hear the news of peace deal, but the services we are getting afterwards are so limited.
I came here to get psychiatric medicine, but when I ask, the answer is no.
Hospital's outpatients pharmacy coordinator Antena Haile Mikhail also says despite little improvement, the hospital cannot satisfy its outpatients 3 months to the Pretoria Agreement.
There is a little improvement after the peace deal. However, there is still a big problem regarding the provision of medicines to the outpatients. Patients of diabetes, hypertension, and other chronic illnesses are still not getting their medicines on time. As you can see, the queue is very busy, but it is difficult to serve all of the patients without limited supplies.
The pharmacist also shares us his desperation as he cannot give the service to his long-suffered patients.
We, the medics, are here, but it is so sad to come here and not give your patients the service they so deserve. As a medical professional, it always feels bad when you tell your patient there is no medicine.
The pharmacists and the patients we found at Ida called upon the federal government to facilitate the entry of medical supplies into Tigray as swift as possible.
My
message is that we need medicine. We need the medical service to resume in our localities. When we come here walking kilometers, we're told that there is no medicine. According to the medical guidelines, one hospital should have 4 months reserved medicines at its stock. But here in Ida, let alone reserve, we don't have medicines for emergency services. We ask the federal government to provide us with the medical supplies commensurate the demands on the ground.
And finally, customers of Ethio Telecom say that they couldn't meet their families due to the delay in the telecommunication services. The customers added that quality of the resumed services is still poor and some services have not even started yet, while asking for the delivery to be expedited. Nahom Hadgu reports.
Resumption of telecommunication services was included as one of the terms in the signed peace agreement. But the customers of Ethio Telecom we spoke to complain about the problems they are facing in the process of using telecommunication services. The customers say that they are waiting to get SIM cards as they couldn't still be able to communicate.
I am now starving here without food and water. It's been 2 days since I started waiting here. Besides, even now, I don't know if I'm going to be served or not. Based on the peace, everything should be permitted to Tigray and the people must benefit from it.
ኣብዚ ሓለፈ ግዜ ትርኢ ንሕና እውን ሲም ካርዲ ኣብ ከባቢኻ ውፅኢኻ ብቐሊሉ ኢኻ ትስተኣነገድ ነርካ
We use it to get SIM cards from any shops in our surrounding before the outbreak of the war. And now, we came here expecting to get such service as we think peace is prevailing. But somehow, the service is being provided in one branch only. That's why we all are here, waiting a long turn for days to get service. I'm starving, as I have stood for hours without food and water. Hence, the government of Tigray should work in cooperation with the federal government so as to help the Tigrayan people.
We have been under siege for 2 years now. Everyone is in need of SIM cards, as our phones were looted and burned by the drone attacks. The service providers and receivers are not proportionate yet.
Youngsters and students we spoke to on their parts say that they couldn't be able to be benefited from the uses of internet, as the residential wireless internet services are not still connected in Tigray, and this made them remain jobless, in addition to the termination of education in Tigray for about 3 years now.
I came here to get internet service from Abi Adi, as there is no internet connection there. I used to handle my works via online before the war. Youngsters and students who used to learn online are now idle. I myself am one of them, so I call for the federal government to ensure sustainable peace. I am connecting to the internet just now after 2 years. I find everything changed and rules have been modified.
Previously, I used it to connect to the internet through my home Wi-Fi. But now, as you can see, I came here to get Wi-Fi service. I personally missed many opportunities like scholarship and online trainings.
The residents we spoke also asked for a swift solution to their problems and external forces to be withdrawn so that their problems and sufferings can be ended.
As a recommendation, I want to suggest that the branch adds new staff members their workload, as there are elderly and patients who are still desperately waiting in line to get service. That's what I can suggest.
I call for the immediate withdrawal of Amhara militias and Eritrean troops from our places, as we need IDPs to return back to their homes and for all the service to be resumed in Tigray.
As we are citizens of this country, we're hoping to be treated like other Ethiopians. However, we're not getting any advantage on the ground. Everything is still blocked. For instance, in the bank sector and as you can see in the communication sectors.
If you are really considered Ethiopians, we should be treated so. The rest of the citizens in the country use 4G and 5G internet standards. But here, it is even difficult to make calls as the network is busy and 2G level. So we should get all services like the rest of Ethiopians.
Cell phone service, mobile data, and commercial Wi-Fi service are the services resumed so far with limited access. However, the desire of home Wi-Fi, standard quality such as 4G and 5G, and the resumption of fixed phone remain unanswered. It is to be recalled that in our recent report, Director of the Ethio Telecom in the northern region, Mulwalde Selassie, stated areas in many parts of Tigray still remain inaccessible due to lack of fuel and security threats, as the Eritrean forces haven't withdrawn yet.
That's all we have for this edition, and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.